A new novel takes us behind the mics of a popular children's group and also into what's been described as the love and panic of new motherhood. Lindsay Zier-Vogel joins us now with more on the Fun Times Brigade. You made me cry so many times in this book because it felt like things like you had experienced things and then wrote about them. And then I find out in chatting with you that you just did your research.
I did my research.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such a delight to hear. And I've heard from a few people that they were in tears. Not that I wanted to make people cry, but that my imaginary world can be so real.
Yes, yes.
I did walk in, my husband was reading on the couch, or sitting on the couch, and I walked in and he was sobbing. And I thought, oh my God, is your dad okay? And he just held up the book and he was like, and I was like, you knew what happened. You even knew what happened.
And then you're like, nailed it.
I did it. I did it.
So let's set the scene for viewers here. The Fun Times Brigade is the name of a children's entertaining group.
Yeah. So they're musicians. It's comprised of Amy, who's sort of our main character, who wanted to be a singer-songwriter, and then Fran and Jim, who were a big deal in the 70s. They were sort of like a 70s folk band, and so they come together after performing together in a Hillside-esque music festival, and then they come together and become a children's group that does super well. So they're kind of like the early odds answer to Sharon, Lois, and Bram.
And you did research with Sharon and Lois.
I did. So Sharon and Bram, right before they were launching their kids' book, the Skinamarink book. So I was able to interview them after a performance, and it was just so insightful to hear about their, decades of performing for kids.
And there's so many real Canadian musicians that are, like groups, I should say. They're not involved in the escapades or whatever, but just like name dropping. And it's like, it's so great that it's Canadian and that Amy tours with this group across Canada. So you get all those little touch points that, like, yes, this is the Canadian novel we need right now.
Yeah, they get to go to Comox and they get to go to Thunder Bay and and everywhere in between. Yeah.
And all the while, and this is told kind of in flashbacks, Amy is really struggling with new motherhood. And with kind of her identity that she only is, all people see her as is a mother now, not as still a performer.
And so I found when I became a mom, I only had one person sort of outside of my friend group who would say, like, how are you? And I was like, thank you for asking how I am. Because, everything, especially with, a first child, it's overwhelming. There's not a lot of sleep happening. It can be so overwhelming. And I really experienced this of like, well, can I be an artist if, motherhood is eclipsing everything of who I am? And like, that was the case for a while. And of course I found my voice. And of course, Amy ends up finding her voice after some time as well.
And there's so many like kind of pitfalls along the way, but like really happy things happen along the way as well. So it's not a downer at all.
It is called the Fun Times Brigade.
Yes.
There's some fun. I think that is how it is, right? There's like wonderful moments chased by really hard moments. And I think the book is, a real testament to forgiveness and finding your way back to yourself, finding your way back to the people who love you, and how special and important that is.
And you're part of a book tour right now. So you have an event tonight at the City and the City Books on Ottawa Street in Hamilton. And I like that you're touring with your best friend.
It's so much fun. So I'm touring with Terry Vlasopoulos. We actually have a writing group together called the Semi-Retired Hens. There's two other members. And so she's workshopped every single word that went into this book. I read every single word that went into her
And her shout book. Out, what's her book called?
The Living Expenses.
Okay.
Yeah, published by Invisible Press. And so her book takes place, it's the sort of place pre-parenthood, so looking at infertility, looking at sort of relationship struggles, and then mine sort of takes off from that early. I think the baby Alice is 4 weeks old when the book opens, so it's sort of they're a really nice seamless sort of journey into parenthood together.
You were telling me you avoid the nobody's going to come to our book launch kind of thing
because we get to be together,
and that happens, right? That happens with even like really famous authors that are out there forever, and people just don't show up. So go show up tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. We're so delighted to be there together. We have this jar method, so we pull questions from a jar. It's a riot. It's going to be so much fun.
Okay, starts at 7 o'clock tonight. Okay, and again, that's at the City and the City Bookstore on Ottawa Street North in Hamilton. Lindsay, I can't wait to read your next book, whatever it is. No pressure. We'll get all your social media and everything, all your links up on our website to the Fun Time Brigades at CA whch.com/morninglive.